Coming to you live within your local tri-state area on another episode of Any Given Thursday. Title pending. It's Rob and...
That actually wasn't that bad.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie, that wasn't that bad.
I figured you would have called out the fact that there's no way this is live. I only recently learned what the tri-state area meant.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, no, that's not terrible. That's not terrible. I mean, no, it's not live.
No. We are in the tri-state area.
Technically.
I didn't know that. I always just thought it meant, like, the 3 states near you.
No.
Yeah, no,
New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I now hate that...
Well,
there's something that Connecticut is in a category with Jersey in.
There's a lot of people that don't actually include Connecticut in it. A lot of people say it's
What's the third
New York,
state?
New Jersey, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah. I have heard... Yeah, I'm just saying I've heard it. I'm saying I've heard it.
There's a whole other big city, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh.
But, like, people travel all across Connecticut to go work in the Big Apple.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's because we're just a middle hub.
Yeah.
That's all we are. We're halfway between... Well, not... Well, actually, I think we probably are halfway between New York and Boston.
About, yeah. We are the average.
Yeah. You went right there, huh? You went right there. Wow. I went a whole minute 47 without saying my name, by the way. I think that's a pretty good new record.
His name's Kevin. In case you...
Allegedly.
Skipped the other 4 episodes. I don't blame you if you did.
Allegedly. Yes, you are correct. My name is Kevin. But I thought that was pretty impressive.
No, it did do you well. I mean...
Yeah, I know I'm great.
Well, you know, I want you to keep up that sort of enthusiasm about yourself because
Yikes.
I started this podcast this week in that manner because... little known fact about my boy Kevin here.
Oh, God. I'm going to be very upset.
He had a legendary run on our college's local radio station. And I think that it is important that we discuss.
Legendary run?
Legendary run.
I was on for 4 weeks.
That's longer than most people, actually.
Once a week. For 4 weeks with someone else running the show.
They didn't know that. You could have been a star.
I'm not gonna lie to the person. I'm not gonna lie to the one person that's gonna watch this.
They can watch this?
Yeah.
Are we being videotaped?
Yeah, you didn't know? Oh, you didn't know? Better call somebody, Rob. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it was a program that I was a part of, where I got to work with a more seasoned a disc jockey, as they like to be referred to.
Do that?
No. No, absolutely
I
not.
don't think they use discs. I don't think they have in years.
Yeah, no. No, it's all just iPods, you know? Or like computers.
Kids these days don't know what an iPhone
Phones.
is.
They're Zunes. Yeah, they're Zunes.
Nobody even knew what that was when it came out.
Oh, I had a Zune.
Yeah, you and like the 100 other people before the brand died.
Hey, I really liked my Zune. Okay? I'm just going to put that out there. It was a great music device. And it was a big, chonky one that held a good amount of music. It was like a brick. Like, I could probably knock someone out with that.
Who is listening to this, who is like 3 years younger than this, is like, is he making up words?
No. And I'm not saying Zoom, by the way. Like, that's very different.
Yeah, not Zoom.
Yeah, not Zoom.
No,
I know.
Zune.
I know. Like that makes sense in our current context in terms of being a
virtual world
networking app.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right.
Let's go with that.
Yes, it's a professional way of putting it. Because we're very professional here.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing a button down.
Yeah, I'm shirtless.
He is.
But But
shirtless and single, baby.
but no. Yes, but no. Yes, correct. No. But yeah, I was on 4 radio shows. It was, I can't remember the name of the show.
You don't remember the name of your own show?
It wasn't my show. It wasn't my show.
You ran that show, Kevin.
No, I ran the show.
He's trying to be humble.
I ran 1 episode of the show. 1 episode, and it was a train wreck. It was real bad. It was Raj's show. Raj Lotring. That's who it was. Raj Lotring.
Raj Lotring.
Yeah, he was a really cool guy. I really liked him. Very smart, really good at it, and just like a really cool guy to talk to. Like he knows a lot about music. You're
really branding this person. This is the first full name we've given out in this whole entire thing.
Yeah, who cares?
He was a radio personality. So.
Yeah, right. He's a radio person. His name's out there. You know,
it's true.
He was on WHUS Stores 91.7.
I know where we went to school.
For well, he was at least on it 8 years ago, 9 years ago. No, I don't know if he's there anymore.
It wasn't that long ago, was it?
It was spring of 2013 when I was doing my radio things.
Oh, you did it that early on?
Yeah, it was yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. First grade. Of college. You know, you have like first grade, second grade, third grade, then you graduate in college.
Sometimes.
Right. Well, some people go to 5 grades. Some people, you know.
Some people go to 6 grades and then do nothing with their middle school entrance exam certificate.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, it was freshman year, spring of freshman year. I split it up. I took the class because there was a class component. We had to go once a week. It was like 7:00 on a Wednesday or something like that. Some odd time late at night, and we were going, and we had a test we had to take at the end of it. So we'd go. We would, learn what you're supposed to say, what you're not supposed to say, other things about how the radio works, basically.
Yeah, clearly all of the rules that we've thrown out for this.
Well, yeah, it's a podcast, so it's different. We're on the internet, we're not on radio broadcasts, so we can get away with a lot more shit like that.
Like, yeah, you just said, yeah.
Right. It was on purpose. You see, it was a point maker thing. I made a point there by doing it. It's a thing that people do. People like you and me.
Yes, you and me.
People like you and me do. We make points.
Yes, you immediately backed up what you were saying. Continue.
Right. So, yes. So, I took the class, passed the test. I think I got like an 86 or something. Like, good enough.
Good enough.
Good enough. And most people...
Well past good enough.
Yeah, above average, some may say.
C's get degrees.
That's unfortunately true. They get doctor degrees too, so that's part of whatever. They passed.
So most people
do their live in studio training alongside of the other class.
Oh, okay.
But I specifically requested to be with Raj, and he was already booked with 2 other people.
Gotcha.
So the studio was already pretty full at that point. So I pushed off my in-studio training until the spring.
Okay.
So it was early January, February of 2013, which is now 9 years ago. Believe it or not. Isn't that fun to think about?
Just continue.
You were fine. You were still in high school.
Depends on what part of 2013.
January, February, 2013.
Okay, fine, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The 2 months that I said there previously.
Yeah.
And then repeated again.
Yeah.
January or February
of 2013.
Time of 2013.
Fine, okay.
Right. Okay. Now that we're on the same page, it might have been March actually, so I could have been lying this whole time. But I never lie to the people.
Not on purpose.
But yeah, so I did my in-studio training in the spring, and I think it was 4 sessions. The first 2 were really sitting back, watching, observing, taking notes, learning how everything works. Session 3 was the first time I was technically on the radio. So I was seated on the opposite side of the table. So there was a table set up with I think I had 3 or 4 microphones. Actually, it was a pretty decent setup.
And then you just get surround sound.
I was surprised how good the setup was for a college radio station.
I mean, it's well-funded college radio station.
Yeah, but still, I'm still surprised. So we're sitting on opposite ends of the table, and that was the first time on the radio. We were just chatting, having normal conversations. Talked a lot about the music we were playing, some current event stuff that was going on at the time, like in the music world. One cool thing about Raj that I was going to mention earlier and then I forgot, so I'm getting back to it, is that outside of the radio station, he actually worked for a magazine. So he would do interviews with bands and musicians and write articles and publish them in magazines.
Okay, so it's kind of like... Okay, because at first I was thinking magazines as writing experience, but it's really interview experience to then go into radio. That's interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't get, obviously it's college radio, so you don't get any money for it.
Yeah.
So, he was just doing this as his fun side project, and then, bringing his experience in the music industry, working with people to the radio.
Okay.
Which, again, super cool guy.
Sure.
We had a lot of really cool conversations about music and just listening to music and how you listen to music, the whole thing. How one conversation we had is how people don't sit down and listen to a full album really anymore.
Right, which I think sucks because I am one of the few people who still buys music like an idiot.
Good for you. It supports the artist.
And barely, but yeah. But usually I'll buy the whole album.
Yeah.
And even if I don't like all the album at first, after the third time listening to it, you kind of get a feel for it, you understand it, and it's nice. Going back to us as musical hipsters.
We did it.
But no, I think that, a lot of people don't. They hear the 1 or 2 popular songs, and sometimes there's some nice hidden gems on an album.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously this doesn't even apply to our generation, really. But the concept of B-sides, Well,
that's because there's, this goes back to, I don't even know. Do you think B-sides was primarily a record thing or an A-track?
I would assume it started with a record thing, honestly.
But B-sides were usually the lesser known.
Yeah. So it had to start with the record, and it evolved for a while. It really evolved until we stopped flipping things over.
Yeah.
As soon as CDs came out.
But I don't know if A-sides were always the popular tracks, or sometimes that's just how it fell on the album.
They were.
Was that you think that was purposely designed that way? So the first time, so that way if you didn't want to flip it over, you could just keep listening to the popular ones.
Well, no, because most in our lifetime, vehicles with cassette decks automatically started playing the next side. We didn't have to actually flip.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
Before that, I'm not knowledgeable enough on the technology of cassette players. I'm sure you had to flip.
Fair.
I'm sure you had to flip.
We were saying, we have brought so much outdated technology into this podcast so far.
Yeah. We're doing great. We're all the way back to cassettes. I still have a cassette deck in my truck, so...
I'm so hipster that I have a cassette tape of 21 Pilots' Vessel, which was made at a time that did not need cassette tapes made of it. Could have been solely released on MP3. And I found a cassette of it somewhere, and I was so happy that day.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's a piece of just amazingly cool memorabilia.
Yeah.
How could you not be super excited about that?
Yeah.
Just, confirms who we are and what we do and what we know.
Why we're awful. Okay.
Right. Anyways. So, yes, day 3. was my first time on the radio, and we were just having conversations. My fourth time there, I was running the show. So
What a show it was.
Oh, it was so bad. It wasn't terrible. I don't think it was terrible. I don't know if I still have the 2 CDs that it was recorded on.
Wait a minute, it was recorded onto a CD?
On 2 CDs, yeah.
On discs?
Yes. It was recorded onto a disc because which I never did, but I would have had to have submitted that as a demo in order to get my own show on the radio station.
You could have done that?
Yes, and I never submitted it.
And you chose not to?
I never submitted it.
Ah.
Yeah.
So they give you one to keep in case you want to have it as memorabilia and one to submit?
No, it's because our show was a 2-hour show. So it was 1 hour on each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
So just in case, letting you know, somewhere out there's some rare memorabilia, one of 2.
It's actually an NFT. Yeah, I may still have that disc. I'm not 100% sure. I may still have that disc.
Just one. You lost the.
I think
you lost the second hour.
I think I do only have 1 hour. I'm not gonna lie. I think I do only have one of them, and it's probably in a pile of junk in my room somewhere. If we're being honest.
You're okay.
If I still have it. If I didn't throw it away by now. Because I may have found a random CD and been like, I have no idea what this is, and tossed it. Because it wasn't labeled or anything. It was just a random blank CD. So like it could be gone forever. I'm not sure.
Dear one listener, if I ever find this, I will leak it.
So my first you really just brought this topic up so I could just talk for the entire time almost, huh?
No, okay. So I really have some questions. I still sometimes listen to local radio instead of an MP3, as blasphemous as that is.
Yeah.
And I don't get how the fuck they make money. And this is just
So let me ask the guy who did 4 days on a college radio station.
But you also took a whole class.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember anything from the class.
Well, I'm going to ask you some questions, and maybe you'll have answers. Okay. So I've never...
Before you ask those questions, I'm going to finish day 4. Got him.
Ah, fuck. Okay,
Segued you in.
Yeah, you did.
And then I'm going to segue you right back out so I could actually finish the story. Because I can't give the people 3 of the 4 days. We go into
a
total
about
tangent,
your show.
And then don't give the details of the 4th day.
Only fair. I don't think it would surprise them.
No, but...
we would have left them hanging there and like, wait a minute, he mentioned the 4th day. He even talked about the recordings of the 4th day. Where is it?
We don't mention the 4th day. There is no 4th. The 4th day is just a myth. The 4th day. My turn running the show. I remember it was 4 days before we were set to air. I had emailed Raj and I had set him the list of songs that I wanted to play during my hour. So because it was still 2 hours of a show, I was doing 1 hour of my music, and I was running the boards and everything. Okay. But I was like really in charge of the show for my 1 hour, still basically in charge of the show for the full thing. Like, it's kind of how that worked. It's like I still, Raj opened the show, obviously, because it was his show.
Sure. And
then kind of threw it over to me real quick. The second hour was my hour. Mm. But, I pretty much ran the whole thing. Yeah, it was terrible. Why do you think I didn't? Yes, it was a humble brag, sure, that I ran it. But it was so bad, I decided not to submit the demo CD. So take that as you will. So the day, you can look this up. There's an actual day, very specific date. of my fourth recording session. This is the only one, the exact day that I know. I don't know the date itself, but I know that it happened on an exact day
It's a lot of non-information right there and there, folks.
Because it was the day of the Boston Marathon bombing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So
you weren't getting a lot of viewership no matter what.
So the day of the Boston Marathon bombing was my full studio day.
Ooh.
Where I got to record my demo. So that was the topic of conversation for the majority of the couple hours there.
Yeah, when you weren't playing music and trying to lightly talk about the music, you had a nice, heavy topic to bring up.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever told me this part of this when we've talked about your illustrious radio host career.
Whew, all of those words. I don't think I agree with any of them. Illustrious, no. Radio, I agree with radio. Host, career, definitely not. But I was on the radio. So it was the day of the Boston Marathon bombing. Was the day of the show. So it was a pretty dark day, and we went to school fairly close to Boston, as you are aware.
Relatively, as we've so far mentioned in this exact podcast.
A couple hours, hour and a half, maybe, whatever it was. I'm sure you can get there in 20 minutes, but that's different conversation for a different time. So, yeah, very, very heavy topic with some music, some light banter mixed in, some really horrendous jokes.
Well, we've heard your jokes.
Yeah, they're bad. So, imagine my poor attempts at humor, but
while talking about the Boston Marathon between songs.
Nope. Well, yes, that kind of was how. But imagine my poor attempts at humor while on a radio show, and it was cheesy radio humor on top of my terrible attempts at trying to be funny. It was a very bad mix. Very bad mix. But, I had fun.
That's important. That's what's important.
I had fun while doing it. And
that's why we do any of this.
And again, I will sing the praises of Raj. I don't know what he's doing now. I don't know if he's still at the radio station. I have no idea. I haven't talked to him in 9 years. But he was a really cool guy.
Yep.
And listen to WHUS 91.7.
We're sponsoring them this week.
Yeah. Even though they're more popular than us.
Yeah, we're not going to... whatever.
We're not worried about it. We're not worried about it. Okay, now...
So...
You said you had some questions, Rod.
I have some questions.
Good. I need to drink some water. I am dying.
So... and maybe I'm just not smart enough to fully understand, but I've never really grasped how either cable or even more so radio keeps track of viewership. Obviously they get paid a certain amount and they have these commercials and stuff, but they give you numbers as to how many people listen. So does that mean every time you tune into something, they get a return signal and somehow know?
Good question. I have a half answer for this one.
I'm okay with the half answer.
And I have no idea with television.
That's fair. I didn't expect you to.
No idea. I can make a guess.
I assumed it would work similarly.
Probably. I would make a guess on the television aspect. Totally. Is not qualified to speak on this clearly whatsoever. Not that we've ever had to actually, pretend that we were before.
To talk about any of this.
We're very qualified to talk about all of this. But I would assume that when you go to a channel, your cable service provider is monitoring your watch time on certain channels.
Which is crazy.
I would assume that's kind of how they do it. I have no idea. But I would assume probably something like that.
And so is it like somewhat similar for radio? Did they go over that at all?
So the only reason I have a half answer for radio is because our radio station was also broadcasted online on the WHOS Stores website.
So that immediately always stores how many people are on that one page at that one time.
Yes. So we had data for how many people were listening online at the time. Okay. And that was like live updates.
Yeah.
I have no idea how it works in terms of, sending a signal back. I mean, that sounds potentially
like that's the
true.
only way I could think of, right? Is that like it's almost like bandwidth, right? Like you have a certain amount of people who are pulling from this one thing, so you can monitor it by how much is being lost.
Yeah.
So I would guess it's got to be something similar with radio. Because, like, they know enough to know which songs people are tuning off and on of to know which songs to play more. Like, that's how you figure out if songs are popular, right? Is if people are actually staying on the station to listen to them.
Yes. Obviously, in the modern era, you can get all that information just online with, like, how many downloads and, like, that sort of stuff.
I got it.
So now that doesn't apply as much.
But radio stations still exist.
Yeah.
And they still exist.
People still listen to music in their cars. That's not,
I bet it's significantly less, though. Like, okay, I still frequent in, like, a lot of local radio station, little alt-rock radio station. I still get a bunch of music from it.
Yeah.
And they frequently give away $20,000.
Well, they also have ad revenue, but
still,
yeah.
Where are they getting $20,000 to give away?
Well, they're probably part of. It's probably not them. It's probably their like parent corporation that's loaning them the money in order to do it.
But that means that they find it profitable enough by viewership, right?
But most likely, yeah.
To give away $20,000. That they're pulling in enough people with the temptation of money.
Yeah.
That they have enough to give away $20,000.
Yeah.
I just don't get how modern day radio stations like are financially viable. It's crazy to me.
No, that's fair. Again, a good chunk of it is ad revenue, I would assume.
It's gotta be.
Because, I mean, you have radio show personalities that record specific ads for products.
Oh, yeah.
Like...
Okay, if I'm being straight up, we've already given a bunch of our location away in this.
Yeah, who cares?
I love Radio 104.1.
Yeah.
And you can frequently hear...
Dox us, nerds.
You can frequently, like, in the ads they play on that radio station, their radio personalities are usually doing the ads.
Yes. And those are often recorded reads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even actually sure how much of the radio shows that we listen to are live, if I'm being honest. Also,
a fair amount still.
Do you think that they have really much choice in what they're playing? I mean, they're local stations, so supposedly it's more, right?
Supposedly. Supposedly. I highly doubt that the major radio stations have a lot of choice in what they play.
Probably not, because even like when you get call-in...
like requests?
Yeah, call-in requests.
Yeah.
Like if I were... Like they must just hear the artist and play the most popular song by the artist. I can't call them up and be like, hey, I want to listen to Nights of Shame by AWOL Nation. They'll be like, yeah, Sail again. Right?
Well, no, not necessarily. It depends on the station too. Because, what is it? 1029.
The Whale.
That has their Clonk Social Hour from 12 to 1, where it's all requests for an hour.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though.
But only 1 hour.
But also, they say it's request. Do you think it's the specific song?
Yes.
Or do you think that they can get away with people giving them an artist and they'll play the most popular song by that artist.
It depends on what people request. People can request specific songs.
Because at least on Murder 1041, almost always when they take requests, it's a song that's been playing on the radio a bunch lately.
Sure.
It's not like some obscure song.
I've heard decently obscure songs during the Clown Social Hour. So, but again, it's when people call in and request a specific song by a specific artist. If they just say, "Hey, can you play some so and so?" then they're just going to pick a random song. But if you're specific with your choice and you get through, like
if all of the stars align,
right? Then they're going to choose the specific song that you requested. Okay. Or a lot of times, if they don't, maybe they don't have it in their library. Because like that actually has happened. Where it's like
they probably have a very, or at least somewhat limited library.
Yeah.
That they get access to play these songs at this time.
Yeah, I'm sure it's still incredibly vast. Like there's tons of artists, tons of songs.
Right.
But it's still limited in scope.
Yeah, because even 1041 they do a '90s weekend.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to it enough over periods of time, all of a sudden they'll pick up a new 90s song, play it for a few months, and then rotate it out.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I think that too I think that has more so to do with the fact that a specific radio personality will be like, "Oh, we haven't played this song in a while," and then they'll play it, and then it'll you know what? Okay, never mind. You know what? I just had a thought.
Okay, I'm in.
Because it's getting chosen to be played by that radio personality.
Sure.
It is going to be probably higher up on the list, right? So it's then more likely to be chosen more often.
Yeah.
And then, because you're right, they're only choosing the most popular songs. So it's going to get put higher up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to get chosen more often, and then a couple months are going to go by, and they're like, "Oh, we've been, playing this song a lot, so let's find a new one." That you're starting to make a lot of sense here, Rob.
I'm gonna be honest, because I always and it's like, and I think to some degree it's got to be true. They go and they make the whole argument. Oh, we don't like the new alternative music these days, which honestly, new alternative is really pop music.
Yeah. Pop music with a guitar. It's
alt pop. There's no alternative. Although, then again, if it is true alternative, it would be played on the radio anyway, because it's almost indie music. Music genres are weird. We're not getting super into that right now.
Rob, they're never going to play bird calls on the radio.
That's because I don't know. Yeah, of course not.
Right, but that's indie.
They're gonna play. I saw what's the tomato one? I saw
God on Tomato.
I saw God on Tomato
by Psychedelic Porn Crumpets.
Yeah, that's never gonna come on the radio.
No, but it's also like a 9-minute song. So
yeah, that's also why I'll never hear Nights of Shame on the radio.
Yeah.
Plugs for Nights of Shame. I really want to see it live.
Sponsored by. Sponsored by AWOL Nation.
If only.
Please, that'd be really cool. Really appreciate that, guys. I'm sure you're never going to hear this, but if you do...
Aaron Bruno, I love you.
My buddy Rob over here is a big fan. Big fan. Just keep it in mind.
A lot of hot air. Big fan.
God. Oh. That was terrible.
Yeah, it was like your jokes when you hosted that hour.
Yeah. Spot on. Probably use that one. But yeah, playtime, viewership, and money. Those are...
It's gotta be it. I would bet that they're also somehow... this is gonna get a little cynical. They're probably paid to play certain songs more.
Probably.
Like, maybe not even the DJs themselves, but from the complaints I've heard on the radio by the hosts, they are somewhat guided as to what songs to push. And that's obviously because they're getting paid more to play that by record labels.
Yeah. And I'm sure their bosses are being like, make sure that this song gets played.
X times an hour, every hour on the hour.
Probably. That's the cool thing about college radio.
Yeah, all right.
You could play whatever you want within reason.
Yeah, that college radio station, if I'm being honest, sometimes phenomenal.
Sometimes
Would
it's
hear
real
shit
weird.
I have never heard of, and I liked it. Sometimes it was, they were doing shrooms. I think they were just doing shrooms in the recording booth.
It was pretty cool. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay. Cannot confirm nor deny.
I don't even think shrooms are a popular drug anymore for college kids. They're doing Special K in the
Yikes.
booth.
Yikes. Why?
I don't know.
That'd be terrible for a radio show. I mean, look how bad our podcast is. Sponsored by.
No.
What do you have against the cereal, Rob?
Oh, yeah, I love me some freeze-dried strawberries.
Yeah. Okay, if you sounded a little more enthusiastic, we might actually get some money.
I don't know, because I've always just thought that was weird, especially, like, with cable, how, like I remember American Idol, for instance.
Okay.
And that was the big phenomenon.
Yep.
They
Still going.
clearly... Shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's still going.
Like, they had numbers, like, by viewership. And the only way you can do that is if you're getting a return signal from people tuning in.
Yeah.
Which is a little horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, they must also be recording data. Like, it's got to be a massive data collection in terms of how long people are looking at stuff and what things they cut off in the middle of because they're sick of watching it.
It's got to be. I mean, slightly more...
I mean, that's what social media does to it.
Yeah.
Now horrendous extent. But
Yeah. YouTube. Like, that's what I was literally just going to bring up. Like, channel creators...
Do you consider YouTube social media?
Unfortunately, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I don't like considering social media because I'm on there all the time. But I think it technically is because it's community building, just really based around a video format. So it's like, do you consider TikTok social media?
I don't know. I've never been on it.
Me either. Well, it's called Bob.
That's I don't know, because, like, when I use YouTube, I don't really, I don't like and subscribe to things.
Fair.
That probably makes me awful, because I'm not helping anybody either.
Yeah.
Like, if I like something a lot, I'll word of mouth it, and that's the most it's getting.
Yeah. That's, I mean, watch time still helps the creators, just not as much as...
Subscribing.
Right. Because you're seeing their content more often, so you're more likely to come back and watch more.
I'm going to sound real hipster right here, and really old. I miss the early days of not the internet, but when we started using the internet. It was better. Like 07 to 010.
To 010?
There's still an O in front of it. Shut up.
07 to 20010.
All right. Shut up. No, because, like, it wasn't always about making money. It was literally just people being excited to be putting content out. And so, like, YouTube, the ads were, like, few and far between. Definitely not in the middle of the video. Definitely not in the beginning and end of every video. It was just, like, people making stuff, and it was easier to follow. And it wasn't even about the like and subscribe, which is now mentioned in every video.
Right, because it has to be. But that's...
Well, they're trying to make money.
That's less so on the... Yes, but that's less so on the individual, the content creator, and it's more so on how YouTube...
Has evolved over time.
Yes, how YouTube has evolved and how YouTube...
Well, that's how the internet has evolved over time.
Yeah, but it's even how YouTube recommends videos to people who go on the website. Because they have so many different hoops to jump through now. Because now you got to ring the bell. You know, before you would subscribe and you would see everything that was posted by the person you subscribed to. Now you have to ring a bell to get a notification when certain videos. You get a notification when videos are posted.
Okay, you've just said ring the bell twice. I don't know what you mean.
So next to the subscribe button, there's a little bell icon. And if you click on the bell, you will get notifications every time the content creator posts a video. Yeah, I don't do that for anyone because
What the hell's the point? I thought that's the whole point of subscribing is you get like
because it got to the point where videos that the content creator was putting out weren't showing up for some subscribers. Even if you were subscribed to the person.
Oh, because the algorithm would fuck it up.
Because the algorithm would fuck it up, you wouldn't always see that person's videos. And especially, like, I mean, I know you don't,
do any of this.
You don't do a lot of it, or, any of it. But, like, I'm subscribed to a fairly significant number of YouTubers. So there are some that if I don't ring the bell for any of them. But, like, there are some that if I choose not to, I just won't see their videos.
That's messed up.
They won't pop up in my my subscribed subscriptions
then
videos.
What the hell's even the point? Although I'm pretty sure the YouTubers still get paid by amount of subscribers, maybe.
It's a piece of it, yeah. Because number of subscribers increases number of viewers, increases number of views, and then view time for those views. So, and then because I pay for YouTube, which, I pay for YouTube, putting that out there. I'm on the service far more often than I should be, so I think it's a good investment for me. Okay, I don't want to hear
it's a bad investment for him. He's losing life. It's fine.
No, it's good for me, but because I pay for it, I don't have ads. Not that I did anyway because I used ad blocker. But like, because I pay for it, every video I watch from one of my favorite content creators gets a little extra kickback. Okay. They get more money because I'm a premium viewer watching their video. So, like, to that end, I appreciate, in a sense, that they're getting a small bit. It's not as much as, like, supporting them on Patreon or...
sure.
That's
not as much as directly funding them. Commander's Quarters, who sells merch.
Right.
Or those sorts of things.
Right.
But, like...
But it's a little bit.
Yeah.
It's, And
you know what? Even to the greater extent, right? Like, this, I think, only goes to prove that actual broadcasting radio stations, how in the hell did they compete with shit like that?
Yeah.
Which is all algorithm and, like, tailored notification-based stuff. It just blows my mind. And, I mean, support local radios. I guess kind of the moral of this.
Yeah. Local radios, local artists, local businesses, support local. Support local in general.
Not that we're trying to be that guy, but like it's just crazy because I think that it still serves a function. I mean, I've discovered some of my favorite music and artists because of local radio. Yeah. And I don't understand how they make money and enough money to give away money frequently. It just doesn't make sense to me in my mind.
Because of people like you, Rob.
No, I don't contribute.
who listen to...
Also, to the same extent, those things where they give away $20,000.
Yeah.
They want you to send a text message into.
Yeah.
Which I get how that used to make money, but everybody has unlimited data plans now. So do they still get money per text received?
No, I doubt it.
Right?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But then what the hell's the function?
At this point, it's just convenience. It's an easy way to keep track of entrants.
Come on.
No, honestly, it's an easy way to keep track of entrants.
You don't think that they're getting money per text?
No. I mean, okay, probably. The cynic in me says yes, probably. But like,
I don't know how.
But why? And I doubt it's worth.
While.
Yeah, I doubt it's worthwhile. I doubt it's even if they get, I don't know, like a penny for every 10 texts. Like,
it's got to be more than that. It's not enough to make $20,000.
Sure, but you ain't making that money. You ain't making money. You ain't making money on that. And then I don't believe this is true specifically for 104. But when you listen to other radio stations, oftentimes those sorts of competitions are not from the radio station themselves,
Oh no,
but they're from iHeartRadio.
Right, like Battle of the Roses.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what Battle of the Roses is?
No.
Oh my god, okay, so this is a common radio show gimmick that goes across and it is not specific to a radio station. It's amazing. It's awful. It is like reality TV of radio stations.
Okay.
What they do is if you suspect that your spouse is cheating on you,
Okay.
you can have the radio station call your spouse and offer them to send somebody roses for free.
Okay.
So the gimmick is that oftentimes they'll send they'll call in, they'll get the person who requested on the line, then they'll call the significant other, and about 50-50, the significant other will send the roses to their supposed mistress. Only for the radio station to be like, ha, you've been caught on Battle of the Roses. And the spouse is like, you bastard, you're cheating on me. You sent the roses to this bitch. It's awful. It is a common thing that many radio stations do.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds terrible.
It is horrible, but
what if you're sending the why wouldn't you send the roses?
I mean, obviously
to
they
like
can
a
try
mom
to
or
justify
like a
it.
grandma
Well,
or
then,
like
well, then
you know
I'll,
what I mean? Like,
look, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's staged, like I think all reality TV is, or even semi-reality TV is.
most is staged.
So, like, who knows? But yeah, like, why? And I'm sure in that instance they'd be like, "Oh, okay, fine. I was upset with them. They're still a nice person," but a lot of the time it's like, oh, they're sending a rose to some other. I guess it's usually females.
Okay. Okay. Why did you bring that point up?
It's a common radio show bit. Many
Yes.
radio shows do it across the country. They
Yes.
don't own the bit.
Right. Okay.
So similar to what you were saying, whether it's pre-recorded or not, they're having people call and subscribe. It's something that obtains viewership by formula. They know it's going to work. It works across the country in different radio stations that don't use the same recording. They don't own the bit.
Okay. Fair. That wasn't what I was saying though, Rob.
What do you mean? I thought you said common radio show bits.
No. I was talking about where the money comes from.
Yeah.
I was talking about how there are conglomerates like iHeartRadio that front the money for certain radio contests.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing as a contest. All of the iHeartRadio stations are going to have the same contents and the same contests and the same bits.
Okay,
Because they're proven to work and inspire viewership.
sure, but we kind of just made that jump without any sort of connection. And now we're making the connection after already explaining the jump.
We do that like at least 60% of the time, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. God, this is terrible. My God. We're really not good at this, huh?
What an incohesive nonsense.
We're having fun, though.
And you listen to us.
Yeah, isn't it great? Aren't we so good at our jobs? Yeah, these aren't our jobs.
You're getting paid?
I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to tell you.
Oh, no.
I got sponsored by Windex. And Arby's and AWOL Nation. They're paying me, but not you. Sorry. I was supposed to split it 50-50, but like, I forgot.
How do you split a $1 bill, you know?
Right, I didn't want to rip it in half and give you half of it. Then it's worth nothing. You know? You would think if you ripped a $1 bill in half, it'd be worth at least 50 cents.
Nah, it's useless now.
It's useless. You gotta tape that back together.
And even then, most vending machines won't accept it.
Yeah. You gotta go to the bank. Go into the bank and like exchange it.
Ugh, into banks.
Yeah. I did that the other day. Went into the bank to deposit my paychecks and change out big bills for small bills. Because sometimes I'm still a boomer.
Apparently, wow, that dated you as hell. You sound old as shit. I don't even. If there's an ATM, I don't even know why I go into the bank.
I mean, sometimes you want to go into the bank just to like talk to the people.
You hate talking to people,
right? I'm not saying me, but like, well, okay. So in my hometown, there's a small little bank where we know the names of everyone that works there, and one of the guys, well. Because it's a small bank, you know everybody.
Kevin's hometown is still in the 50s, everybody?
No, there's an ATM, okay? And there's drive-up service, all right? We're not that far behind. But we still like to go in because we like to see the people and chat with them because we know them, right? So there's this one guy. There's one guy who was working there. He just left because he got a new job. I went to high school with him, actually. He was a year younger than me. 2 years, a year or two. I think a year younger than me. And my brother knew him because they did Boy Scouts together. And like he's been working at the bank for years. So like it's it was nice to go in, chat with him, see how he was doing, that sort of thing. Sometimes it makes sense. I was going in. I don't like. Here we go. Here, you ready for this one? Tinfoil hat. This. It's not a conspiracy theory. How have we not talked about conspiracy theories in 5 episodes?
We have time.
Well, 5 published episodes, even though they're not published yet.
Shh, they don't know that. What did you just do?
You left me hanging on a high five. I high five myself.
I'll do high five hanging because what did you do? All right, go ahead.
I don't like exchanging big bills for little bills at ATMs. Because I want to get specific amounts of bills. And you can't always do that at ATMs. So, like, I'll go in with, like, say, $100. And I'll specifically want, 3 20s, 2 10s, 2 5s, and then 10 1s. I think that's right.
You can just do that when you break the 100 paying somebody.
Right, but I can't... It's hard to break 100 on stuff.
Where?
Everywhere.
Where do you not shop? Like, what are you doing?
I'm not gonna, like, buy a sandwich and break 100.
What kind of sandwich? Where are you buying it? Subway? They're gonna have the money.
No, they ain't. I used to work there. No, they ain't.
Alright, well, fine. Some places will have the money.
Gas stations? No.
Gas stations definitely have the money. They incentivize paying in cash.
Yeah, but they can't keep it out. Like that was even at Subway. When you get big bills, you have to lock that up in the safe immediately.
What's a big bill? You're going to have 20s.
Over 50. It goes in the safe.
Okay, so you're going to have 20s. You're not breaking 100 and getting other hundreds.
Sure, but if you're breaking 100 on a fucking
$1,000 bills.
I'm breaking 100 on a $5 footlong. Like, what am I? I'm not going to get 96 and change back. Sorry, 94 and change back because tax.
Kevin, there's no $5 footlongs. You worked at Subway for how long? How many times you charge $5 for a sandwich?
No comment.
Kevin still sponsored by Subway and holding that sponsorship with all his grip and might.
Well, I wouldn't mind. Just they're another one to add to the list of like that'd be cool. Really anything. I think we will mention your name at least 4 times in an episode if you want to sponsor us.
Jeez, 4 times?
Yeah, it's easy.
You think?
Yeah, Subway, 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 Subway.
I don't think that's how that's supposed
Done.
to work.
But it worked, and that was 7 at least because we said it 3 times in other conversations.
This just keeps making me think of what that hour of your radio show must have been. Fuck, I'm supposed to get 4 times. I'm supposed to mention these people in this hour.
No.
I have 10 minutes left. Ah.
No. It was bad, but it wasn't like that kind of bad. It was just bad in its own right. Oh. But, Rob, are you happy with the answers I gave you? And story time with...
Story time was worth it. And I have a better idea as to how radio stations work? A little bit.
I don't. So
It's not like we're an educational like tool here.
no, we're self-help. And by that, we're helping ourselves. We're not going to help you. We're going to help ourselves. This was fun.
It was.
You did it, guys. You
You made-
listened.
You made it the whole time.
I'm a little proud of you this time.
A little bit. You know, there were times where, you know, we weren't sure if you were going to make it.
Yeah, I talked for 25 minutes of just my experiences on a radio station.
And I can barely listen to them for that long.
Yeah. I don't blame you. But you did it.
You did it!
Proud of you. Thank you. And we love you.
He loves you.